Hi, folks.
Good morning, good
Good.
afternoon. Can people hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Yes. Yes, we can hear you, Susan.
I'm not sure where my sound is coming from. Just a second. Let me disconnect the monitor. Um,
Hi, Susan. Can you hear us?
oh, yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, sorry for
Okay.
the delay. Because of the IP change, I had to do extra login to Zoom because it's detecting some like weird behavior. But yeah, I'm in now. Um, Let me try to share my screen. Just a second. Need to make a copy. And I'll fix the template later. Cool. So I think today we have our agenda from last week for the SLSA verifying artifact. But before that, we should review our status for the negative test. Oh, I guess I'll move this one first. And also a status check on the 1.0 release. Anything else to add to the agenda, anyone?
Yeah, I want to discuss the Rico template PR.
Okay, cool. Is it in the doc repository?
Uh, yes, Ratify web.
Cool. Let me bring that up. GitHub, Ratify, web. Binbin, would you be able to paste a link to the chat?
Yeah,
Yeah, I only know the website URL, but I don't know the GitHub repository.
maybe I can just.
Okay, so we have 3 PRs active. And yes, number 6. Go ahead, Binbin.
Uh, so which one do we go through first?
Oh,
Oh
sorry,
yes,
can you see my screen right now?
yes, I can. So I just have one question. So basically, in this PR, I added 2 samples, And for one of them, yeah, I just want to discuss this comment. Because for one example, it's kind of blocked by another issue we talked about before. So for the verify name, because this name is not the actual name, it's more like a tag. So actually we cannot distinguish between like verifiers of the same type. And so only when we fix this issue, the case that we want to distinguish multiple identities will work. So I just wonder if we should wait for that fix, or we can just merge this PR before V1.
So just bringing up. Go ahead, Luis.
I mean, I feel like if we, so the fix for the type is that's gonna come after V1,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Then I wouldn't recommend adding the template just yet. Can we just split the samples?
So sorry, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, if the example, so you included two
You have two examples.
two examples, right? So I think then maybe this one that requires an understanding of the type this one we just need to hold until we get that fixing.
Oh, so maybe we can just leave one example in this PI and merge and get
Yes.
another example after V1.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
That will be my recommendation. If anybody else has.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Have we documented the limitation? Like we can add a note about 1066 and say like we're in progress of fixing it. Like we can just put a note that says we don't support it right now, but we're working on it.
Yeah, I added a fix note in the documentation. So that's why I guess you ask the fix through.
My reasoning was that even if the note is there, if we don't currently support it, we shouldn't have that as an example.
Right. Yeah, it feels broken to add a template for something that's ultimately not going to work. Yeah. I mean, especially if this is like starting templates for anyone, like you don't want to start them with like a template that's never gonna work, or until we fix this issue.
Okay, I'll make the change.
Sounds good. Thank you, Bin Bin.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 7, update the version to V1. Feynman, so we're going to release first and then we'll be able to merge this PR. Is that correct?
I think we can merge this PR before the release, since we are quite close to the release, and the website version can be updated in advance. I have only one question. Maybe we can use the minor version as a major version control mechanism for the website, and we don't need to display the patch version on website. In this way, I think we only update the website and apply the version control when Ratify has a new minor release after V1. As you can see that if you can open ratify.dev, there's a version number on the right top corner. So I think we can keep it as a minor version, maybe use v1.0. And if we have Ratify v1.1, maybe v1.1.0 or whatever, v1.1.1 or 2, I think we can use v1.1 here. We only track the minor version of the website.
So what is this? I'm just curious, like, and maybe I should just open Ratify dev myself. This upper version at the top does that provide like a version of the docs?
Yeah, I think the major purpose of this version control is for the docs. So I think
see.
we will use the minor version based version control for the docs instead of a patch release based.
I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, to map once we so that basically the version that we're gonna be that you just migrated and it's corresponds to v1.0. It will correspond to v1.0, and then when we branch for v1 point minor version, then we also branch the docs.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Will the version of the doc always match the version of Ratify?
The minor version of Ratify. If Ratify has a patch release, the doc version will not be changed. We will still keep, for example, 1.1 or 1.2 for Ratify docs. So back to this PR, I think I will need to update version number from 1.1, 1.0.0 to 1.0.
Okay.
So that we don't need to update the version number frequently.
Yeah, so instead of 2 zeros, it's just 1 0. So we only update when on a minor version.
Yeah, sounds good. Have I already approved this?
I will need to
but I'll be able to approve
number that request the next round of review.
Sounds good. And the next PR number 10, I also created, I did some cleanup. So like, there's like a little note about limitation, how we only support like a single namespace right now, and added a sample TSG for one of the error code, cert invalid. And I just want to get people's review on like, are we happy with the format? Do we want like a separate TSG for each individual error code? So let me bring up the TSG. So this was just, Akash, earlier you sent me an example of the error that Josh was running into. So I just made like a TSG for this error code, but there's a few different scenarios that will give the same error code of cert invalid. And my plan is like, we'll have a single like tsg.md for cert invalid, but we'll have like maybe 4 or 5 scenarios that user can refer to when they hit the error. So let me bring up the preview. Where is the show preview button?
You can just hit the display rich diff, which was
it this?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is just the proposal of the format for our TSG. We currently have like a page of like a list of errors, but for this PR, I've added like a new folder under troubleshoot, and then an area. It's currently under area cert store, and then the error code /-tsg.md.
Yeah, I think that's super helpful. One question might be like, would people immediately understand like where they would find the matching text? Like, what does brief error and error refer to? Is because some of these are from the logs versus some are like from the describe command. So I don't know if that's maybe we should have like a little summary like at the top, like, hey, like if you run the describe command, the brief error column will show these contents or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we actually have that sample command in the CRD doc. That says, oh, if you do a get, it'll show you the brief error. If you do a describe, you'll get the full error. But yeah, because but I definitely can include like a little section at the top that's common for all the TSG in this area. Like I think they have like an include tag that I can use.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful because if someone's just trying to troubleshoot, they're not going to go look at this, maybe the CRD doc. Initially, they'll just go directly to the TSG and then expect to just have any commands they need to run there. So
yeah. And I also tried to highlight like the keyword that they should be looking for. Like for example, this one is, exactly to item is expected, which is why the conversion failed. But yeah, so I think after the negative test, like we can kind of catalog out our error log and into these individual TSG documents.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so that's all the PRs we have in the doc repo. Going back to the Ratify repo. So Bin, you're still working on the type to policy CRD, and that one is going in after V1, correct?
Yes.
And next PR, 1082, image spec from RC4 to RC5. Do we need this one for 1.0?
Yeah, not sure. I don't know if it's a must. I'm not sure if ORS or notation have picked it up yet either. From my understanding, there wasn't too much of a change from there, but I was kind of I tagged Sajay in there to see if maybe we missed something, but all of our end-to-end tests passed, so there doesn't seem to be any like breaking change on our end. So
RC5 is a very small release, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, do you think we should just bump it now if there's no harm or?
Yeah, you can take it.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
From ORAS and notation perspective, you can just safely upgrade it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Cool. So we'll take this one in, and the next PR 1087. So now we have the website, and I think Feynman, you confirmed that we've run through all the link checks and stuff. So I was thinking of we can merge this PR after we release. So let me try to think. So I've updated the README with a link to the Ratify repo. So Feynman, after you change the version to 1.0, I can update this link here as well.
Okay, I will inform you if I update the link in that PR, so you can update it accordingly.
Yeah, and that one, once that one goes live, I can then merge this one. So basically this, I think this deletion is our quick start, right? So instead of the previous steps, we're just pointing them to what's currently on our website. And I deleted the quick start folder, the reference, but I kept the images. I think we still need the logo for like the front page. Is that true?
Yeah, we need that. And for the README file, I think we still need that on the Ratify source code repo. It might be helpful if users directly access the Ratify source code repo.
Yeah.
And open
so
to discussion.
The README doc, do you want to keep the content or do you want to just take them to the website? So this README is under the docs folder.
It's the docs folder. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I thought it was the project with me, but I misunderstood.
Oh yeah, I made a modification in both places. So in the README MD, like I replaced the quick start steps with the link, and the doc blurb, like don't go to docs, just go to the website.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, have a look. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Cool. That's all our PRs. Then the next one on the agenda is the negative test review.
So actually for my PR, I think it's kind of like a break and change behavior to the customer. So I guess I need to make the change before the V1.
Oh, I see. So you're saying the policy.
Yes, because we will bump up from alpha to beta. So, and also we have some like breaking change behavior. And the change is almost done. I'll send out the new PR today, and maybe I need to get some reviews from you and I guess.
Yep. So you're saying we cannot do like conversions that avoid the breaking change?
Yeah, because we don't have the type in the alpha one. So if we have an existing V1 alpha one CR, we will not get any data. We will not get the type from alpha to beta.
Got it. Can we infer from the name?
No, so the name is from the metadata, under the metadata, but in the CRD definition, we cannot get the metadata name. We can only get the spec and the status. Do you remember that said when we define a selection store type, we only have the name, we only have the spec and the status. We can't retrieve data from the metadata.
Got it. Okay. I'll have a look today.
Yeah,
so if we're taking that one for GA, so we have to cut the branch after that one merges, right?
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay, let me bring up the negative test.
Yeah, maybe I can quickly share the status of the negative testing. Yeah, currently we have finished the registry and the verifier negative testing test cases from the negative test cases results, but we still have store, policy, and the HA. We have those three areas that we didn't finish yet. I think this is still ongoing, and I requested help from. I requested Akash to help us add more cases for HA, and I think I will also need Akash to help to test the cases for HA this week. And I think we still need one more day to finalize the negative test cases and see and determine if we need to make some fixes for those error logs or results. Maybe we can determine the results, all of the testing results in tomorrow's meeting.
And that'll determine if we need to delay V1, is that correct?
I think that's a tentative question, since we need to revisit all of those error logs. You know, we have more than 20 test cases, and we need to revisit those logs and determine if we need to make some change to the Ratify RC8.
Okay, yeah, we'll sync up again tomorrow.
But yeah, just want to confirm if Junchen and Akash can continue to work on the negative test case, especially for the search store and HA.
Yeah, yes, I can pick up the HA ones. I added a couple new test cases as well. Right now I'm focusing on wrapping up the perf document. I've completed almost all of the tests there, so now I'm just writing that up, but I will also try to in tandem do this. Yep.
Okay, thanks. Let's see the results tomorrow during tomorrow's meeting. Okay.
Sounds good. So I guess for the 1.0 release status, we're waiting on the policy CRD update, and we're also pending results from negative tests. So we'll checkpoint again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
also,
then next one, go ahead, Luis.
No, we also need to merge the bump up the version for the image spec. Right.
Yes, we'll be able to merge that one after this meeting.
Yes, I've actually set it to auto merge, so hopefully it merges in the next hour or so. Yep.
Thanks, Akash. That's how long it takes our end-to-end to finish running.
Yep.
Next item, the SLSA verifying artifact agenda from last week. Sajay, do you want to talk about it?
So this is, we're talking about the SLSA verifying artifacts, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe the thought process here is that as we kind of evolve with signatures and SBOMs and vulnerability reports, the complexity keeps increasing, and the number of verifiers required to process these are going to be hard if you have to kind of like do some complex tool. Instead, there is a thinking that we could have a way to kind of like use pre-compute the so-called deployment approvals and provide an attestation document that is kind of like a one stamp to make progress. This also will reduce the number of referrers being queried and things like that. So if you were to introduce another verifier within the chain that says, hey, I want to verify only SALSA attested documents, and that of this this claim is there or this particular attestation is there, then that might be just a one-stop verification. Doesn't mean that somebody cannot compose this along with the signature, but it's kind of a mix of two things. But to kind of like simplify the discussion here that I'm trying to bring forward is, can we consider how we can enable querying something like salsa as like attestations in Ratify? The scenario is kind of still open. Like, we don't know whether we want to use a store like Guac or whether we want to use the referrers API or what the model would be. So it's more like for Ratify, maybe 1.1, 1.2, or even later, and start thinking about the design approach for this one.
Yeah,
do folks have any thoughts on this?
I think that makes sense. It does seem like it's this SLSA station is getting traction. So one thing that's interesting though is the attestation. I mean, if you go scroll to that page down, Susan, not on that page, sorry, on the menu. If you go down. Can you click on the general model one? It kind of gives you a little bit of a overview of like kind of scroll down, sort of what the attestation per se would encompass, and the kind of verifications here that we will be looking at. If you scroll down, yes, scroll down. There's like an image that I'm trying to. There. So that's kind of like a sample attestation, right? Which basically has the build platform that use it. It has like a signature. So is this schema kind of gonna be consistent, or is this? I guess it would evolve, but for V1, this is kind of what they're looking at, right? Sajay. So it would always have this sort of schema where you have like a predicate with like whatever build platform created the artifact, the link, and like the signature and all this, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the idea. So you can see that the artifact has a digest. It has some statement saying that this was built by so and so, and there's some associated signature. So the point is, let's say a deployer wanted to add this attestation saying that this was approved for deployment, right? So this image has been approved for deployment to something, and this maybe being able to verify the specific attestation exists or the statement exists for this particular image might be an example. And it avoids having to query like signatures and things like that.
So would that be the enough for the verifier just to verify for the existence of the attestation, or would we need to actually like dig deeper into the predicate and see like which build a platform did it, or like if it contains like a signature as well?
I think the complexity of the predicate and the scenario will kind of like outline this, right? Also, the fact that the attestation exists doesn't mean much unless you kind of like look at the authority of who's producing it, right? So the integrity is one, but then the authenticity of who produced it and whether that signature is actually capable of being, or rather has the actual authority to do that operation, is the second part. But the short of this is like coming up with a scenario that makes this capable.
Yep. No, makes sense. I think we should have a GitHub issue to start doing some prototyping in terms of what are the capabilities. Like if we like just start with something simple, just like testing for or verifying for the existence, and then like basically we can go more complex in terms of how much we can actually like parse into the content, and then see what other interesting verifications we can get from that. Oh, so Sertach already added an issue here last year.
In April.
Yeah, last year. Okay, so maybe we can use this one to start kind of drilling down into the scenarios, and also sort of starting to understand what are some of the capabilities we can look at for fulfilling those scenarios. But yeah, it's good. It seems like this SLSA provenance is something that's gonna stick in the industry.
Okay.
What is that?
No one's moving around, so the light went dark on me, but it's okay.
Oh,
should I put it in future or V1.1?
No, I think let's start looking at this relatively soon. So let's put it on V1.1 data, just to kind of start the conversation.
Okay, cool, folks. I need to drop. Bye.
Thank you, Sajay.
Okay, I need to stand up and jump a little bit. Okay, it does not work. I don't know the lights, so we'll just have to be in the dark. Do we have other items? Rego template PR, Bin Bin, we've covered this one, right?
Somebody
Yes.
often we covered that one.
Then the next one, report failure to use on-premise registry with Ratify reported by user on Slack. This is a link. Okay. Let's see if I can open it. Yeah, Feynman, I don't have the login right now. Do you want to describe the issue?
I think Feynman dropped to another
Or
meeting.
dropped as well. Okay. But yeah, we can follow this one up on Slack. So I guess Shiwei, Juncheng, do you have anything to discuss?
Nope.
I just will continue with the negative test cases.
Okay.
Just as a parenthesis, going back to the SLSA site,
Yep.
it's a very interesting site just to read on, because it does give you a lot of like context and a lot of like very digestible information around like secure supply chain, attack vectors, and like the kind of verifications and things and artifacts that are getting produced and all that. So I think Sajay recommended it, and I basically took today to go through a lot of that. So yeah, like, you know, the thing about SLSA, like supply chain threats, like terminology, all of that is very interesting. So if folks have a day of learning,
we'll have a read.
or a moment to learn, this is a good site.
Yep. Cool. I guess we can wrap up early today then. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll see you later in the day. Take care.